Hey guys, it's me, Mario, and we're back in the closet. I found out that this stand comes with a light, so I'm using that instead of the lamp. So we're back in here. Sour Patch Kids, so sour. How are you guys doing today? Hope you guys are doing well. Today we're going to be reading the first chapter of EPOS, the Flame Bird. I cannot tell if they're dirty or not, but I'm presuming they're clean for once. Alright, chapter 1. The Fiery Threat. We must be nearly through the forest now, Tom called to his friend Elena, who was walking behind him. He drew his sword and hacked at the thorny thickets bearing his way. The light was thin, the gray sky barely visible through the heavy branches overhead. "Don't worry, I'll make it," Elena assured him. She was leading Storm. She was leading Storm, Tom's sturdy black stallion, and stopped for a moment, leaning against the horse for support. But a rest would be good. Her pet wolf Silver sank into the long grass beside her and barked. "Hear that?" Elena smiled. "Silver agrees with me." But Tom shook his head. "It has taken us many days to get this far. We must keep going." Not many people would be in such a rush to battle against Flamebird. "Battle a giant flamebird," said Elena. Tom was exhausted too, but with a swell of determination, he raised his blade and swiped fiercely at the undergrowth. He was on a vital quest for King Hugo of Aventia. Someone was bumping against the door. Probably Bailey. He couldn't give up now. The end was almost in sight. His mission was to save the kingdom from the menace of the beasts. Creatures of legend placed under an evil spell by the dark wizard Malvel. Tom used to think the beasts were just fairy stories. But now he knew that there was nothing make-believe about them. Elena and Silver had joined Tom and Storm on the quest, and together they had risked their lives trying to set the beasts free from Melville's curse. They had already faced up to a one-eyed giant and a slithering sea serpent. They had tackled a horseman, a fire dragon, and a terrifying snow monster. Now their task was to free EPOS, the flamebird, from the dark enchantment she was under. Tom pulled his shield from his back and used it to crush some bracken? Let's rest for a few moments while we check the map, he said to Elena. Great, said Elena, slumbering to the ground beside the Silver. Storm leaned over and rested his muzzle on her shoulder, snorting softly. Tom reached into his pocket to pull out the magical map of Aventia. It had been given to them by the king's closest advisor, Wizard Eldor. Tom sat beside Elena as his finger traced over the trees' hills and lakes. The pictures rose up from the parchment, standing as tall as his thumbnail. A pulsing green line marked the path he and Elena had taken from the ice fields of the far north to this great forest of the east. We're nearly at the forest's edge, Tom said with relief. Elena pointed to a miniature mountain on the map, just beyond the forest. That must be a volcano. As she watched, tiny puffs of smoke seemed to rise up from the mountain. It's supposed to be dormant, said Tom. Well, according to the map, that's where we'll find EPOS. A thrill of anticipation ran through him. Eldor said she was the most powerful of all the beasts. He frowned at the map. Why would anyone build a village that close to a volcano, even a dormant one? The soil around volcanoes is very fertile, so crops grow well, said Elena. I learned that from my uncle. She looked down at her hands. It's been so long since I left my village. I miss the people there. Tom smiled. When we finish our quest, I bet Eldoro will take you home. But what about you? Said Elena. Will you go back to your aunt and uncle in Irenal? I expect so, said Tom, looking away. But what I really want to do is find my father. Tom's father had died when he was very young, and his father, Teledon, had disappeared soon afterwards. Tom had been raised by his aunt and uncle, but he still hoped to find his father someday. All he knew was that Teledon had served King Hugo in the past, just as Tom was doing now. Wait, Tom's nose twitched. Can you smell smoke? Elena choked. Someone must have lit a fire. Suddenly a loud rumble sounded through the forest, and the ground beneath them shook. Storm neighed and reared up in alarm. As Tom and Elena scrambled to their feet, Tom looked up. Through the leaves, he glimpsed clouds. Through the leaves, he glimpsed clouds of dark smoke choking the sky. They were shot through with thin streaks of fire like shooting stars. The volcano, Elena gasped. It's going to erupt. We need to find shelter, Tom said. The flamebird must be stirring things up. Then Elena froze. Look, she stammered, started staring straight past Tom. Swirling around, Tom felt his heart leap into his throat. A huge bird-like creature stood in a small clearing not far away from them. It had a sharp jutting beak, and violent flames flickered and sparkled all around it. A golden band was attached to one of its muscular legs, and the earth smoked beneath its talons. Its massive, glittering wings brushed against the nearby bushes and set them alight. EPOS. Tom breathed, his fingers tightening around his sword hilt. We came here to find her, but she's round us. The beast's fierce red eyes narrowed as she rose into the blazing forest. Tom saw a fireball forming from the violet flames at her feet. Then, with a shriek of rage, EPOS hurled the ball of flame straight at Tom. And that was chapter 1. So they went near the volcano. Smoke started to spread. Bleh. And they found EPOS in a clearing EPOS noticed them and threw a fireball straight at Tom. Here are they near the volcano, a smoke. And here is EPOS throwing a fireball at Tom. This is the last book of chapter. This is the last book of series 1. Glad I'm able to read this series again in here. Because I found out that this stand comes with a little light. Like I can turn on and off. Was it off the entire? No, it wasn't. It was on. It was just on low. So I hope you guys enjoy my videos. And I hope I will see you in the next one. Final book of series 1. I'm excited. Well, I hope you guys enjoy my videos. And I hope I will see you again. Hopefully Saturday. Sorry I couldn't upload a Saturday because my nephew Ed wanted to play all day long. So yeah. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye. I don't think this thing is connected. It's not connected. Oh well. See you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.